Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
It's 1 o'clock. I'm Liz Reddy. Good afternoon. Agriculture Minister Michael Creed's invited all sides in the beef dispute to talks later today. Waterford Institute of Technology Students' Union says it's doing all it can to help students find somewhere to live. University Hospital Waterford's emergency department's currently experiencing significant overcrowding. And in sport, Mick McCarthy enters next month's Euro 2020 qualifiers against Georgia and Switzerland, unbeaten in 6 games. All sides involved in the beef dispute will attend separate meetings with the Agriculture Minister this evening. Michael Creed has organised the talks to try to break the deadlock and the row over the prices farmers are getting for their animals. Meat factories have temporarily laid off 3,000 staff, including 300 at Dawn Meats in Granny, because of ongoing protests outside their plants. Minister Creed says he's determined to bring the parties back to the negotiation table to find a way forward. Maggie Delahunty is one of the 3 Independent Farmers of Ireland representatives who took part in the beef plan protests in Granny and Ferrybank. She says the layoffs could have been avoided if Meat Industry Ireland had attended talks last Monday.
Everyone has sympathy for the workers, but also this could have been avoided had Meat Industry Ireland attended talks on Monday. There would be no need to lay off workers. I imagine if talks had commenced on Monday, we'd hopefully have all this sorted by now. And they pulled out of talks, and this is what's happened as a result of that. And the problem is it's not just those workers that we're worried about, it's all the farmers too. And beef farming in Ireland is not sustainable at the minute. And if there's layoff there, that is nothing in comparison to the layoffs that would take place if half of the beef farmers in Ireland have to stop farming.
She says farmers are under a lot of stress at the moment.
It's a combination of exhaustion, frustration, anger, fear. And do you know what? As time goes by, they seem to be growing stronger too. Regardless of sleep deprivation and stress, they seem to be growing stronger throughout the country as well.
The Students' Union at Waterford Institute of Technology has teamed up with the Travelodge to put up students who can't find accommodation. Witsu says the hotel on the Cork Road's offering students rooms at discounted rates until they can find somewhere to live. Many students in Waterford are still looking for accommodation for this academic year. It comes as rent at WIT's on-campus living has risen by 3%. The Students' Union President John Fortune says they're also calling on homeowners to provide digs to students.
We're constantly looking for people to offer a room to students. So if anyone has a spare room that they'd like to let out to a student, if they want company, if they have young children, they want someone to play with them, or if they just have a room that's sitting there with nothing in it, put a student in it. So if you want to get in contact with us, you can get in contact with Paula on welfare@witsu.ie and she'll give you all the information on dig style accommodation.
The students at WIT say the accommodation crisis is out of control.
It took me ages to find accommodation down here for cheap, it's so expensive.
Commuting was not an option, so I had to get accommodation. But the issue is that I had to pay 5 months rent up front, so I had to save up money. I had to get out a loan. A lot of the agencies in Waterford do it. They charge maybe 3 to 5 months straight away. It should be illegal. It's illegal in a lot of European countries.
I met a girl on my first day here who just switched over colleges, and she is literally, the college is still looking for her some place to stay, so she needs to travel all the way from Meads, I think, to come to college. I think it's a 2-3 hour trip.
A Waterford senator says he's still confident that Waterford City will be the headquarters of any new Garda division. There's plans to merge the Waterford division with Carlow Kilkenny. However, there's speculation that the HQ could be located in Kilkenny. Fine Gael's Paddy Coffey has lobbied the Minister for Justice, the Taoiseach and the Garda Commissioner about this issue. He says talk of Kilkenny being the hub is purely speculation at this stage.
The Commissioner will be making the decision on the reform plans, and he's due to make an announcement in that regard very shortly. And I certainly have made my strong views known to the Minister for Justice, the Taoiseach and indeed the Commissioner, that the Garda Divisional HQ for Waterford City and County has been here since the foundation of the state, in compliance and in alignment with the ambition for Waterford City to grow and to be the capital of the South East. It is very obvious and logical that the HQ for the new combined division would remain in Waterford City, and I would be arguing that, and I have argued it very forcefully. I'm still confident that that will happen, but we await now the decision of the Commissioner.
Judges at Scotland's highest civil court have ruled the Prime Minister's decision to suspend Parliament was improper and unlawful. But they haven't reversed the move, and the government will now appeal to the UK Supreme Court. Barrister Joylan Mam, who initiated the case, says a situation where Parliament has no say on when it sits is wrong.
It means that the Prime Minister, at his whim, can suspend Parliament for as long as he wants, and no one can do a thing about it, not Parliament and not the courts. That reduces parliamentary democracy to a hollow husk, and we do not think that that is the law.
University Hospital Waterford is urging people to only attend A&E in the case of a genuine emergency. They say presentations to the department have increased and these patients have a variety of complex needs. Members of the public are being asked to think about all their treatment options and attend their GP or care doc out of hours service. However, if you're seriously injured or ill, or you're worried that your life is at risk, the department will assess and treat you as a priority. According to the INMO, there are 33 patients waiting on trolleys at UHW today. Women's weekly pension payments are on average €150 lower than men's. New research by the ESRI shows that a gender pension gap of 35% exists in Ireland. The gap is a result of women earning less than men and taking time out of the workforce to raise children. ESRI researcher Adele Whelan says the men are twice as likely to take out a pension compared to women.
The exact figures are 55% of men have occupational and private pensions, whereas only 28% of women have occupational and private pensions. And not only is there differences in the enrolment, but also in terms of the differences in the amount that they receive from that.
Researchers at Waterford Institute of Technology are leading a groundbreaking project to digitally transform Europe's agri-food sector. Demeter is a €17 million programme funded by the European Commission under Horizon 2020. Agricultural technology experts from across Europe have gathered in Waterford this week for the launch of the project. Kevin Doolan is Director of Innovation at TSSG. He's the coordinator and says it's all about smart agriculture.
We have two different sides to it. We have about 30 of the partners are very much ICT experts. The other 30 are people from the agricultural side of things. So, for example, we've got the World Farmers Organisation here today. We've got John Deere and other organisations like that. The problem we're trying to solve with Demeter is that currently in agricultural systems, when you try and create what's called precision agriculture, you've lots of different systems that just don't talk to each other. Your tractor mightn't talk to your phone or whatever it's going to be across the supply chain for agriculture. And our role in Demeter is to digitise the entire supply chain to get all these different devices to work together to make precision agriculture a reality for farmers.
WLR Sport.
Republic of Ireland manager Mick McCarthy feels Jack Byrne can bring a lot to the international side. The Shamrock Rovers star made his debut in last night's 3-1 friendly win over Bulgaria at the Aviva Stadium. McCarthy acknowledged it wasn't a competitive fixture but says Byrne's performance was a big positive.
Let's just put it in perspective, because would he be different if he's up against those big Swiss midfield players running off him? Oh, absolutely. So, but it's horses for courses. I mean, we needed to create something. He did it for us. He was excellent.
Waterford's Jason Malumbi had a great game in the under-21 victory last night. Tottenham teenager Troy Parrott scored twice as Stephen Kenny's youngsters won away to Sweden in their European Championship qualifier. His corner found Conor Masterson and his header put Stephen Kenny's side ahead. In stoppage time, Jason Malumbi's fantastic pass found Parrott to secure the points for Ireland. It's now 3 wins from 3 for the under-21s who welcome Italy to Dublin next month. Waterford FC's Zach's El Bazoudi were also featured in the game last night. The Waterford Senior Football Championship quarter-finals take centre stage this weekend. Last year's finalists Kilrossenty take on Ballinacorty in the opening tie at 8:30 in Fairfield on Friday night. Stradbally and Clashmore Kinsale-Beg meet at 8 p.m. in Fairfield on Saturday night, while the remaining ties will be played on Sunday. Rathgormack and Galtier will clash in an all-Eastern affair at 3 p.m. in Kill, while defending champions the Nair face on Rhine at 7 p.m. in Fairfield. Emmett Doherty, the Kilrossenty boss, says it promises to be a cracking weekend of action.
Yeah, well, this is it. Like, there's some really interesting ties there, you know. So look, it's again, look, at this stage we're not there to kind of crowd please. It's probably just really kind of get out and get the results. But at the same time, you can see that there are mouth-watering games there. So that there's going to be some crackers there.
The Irish rugby squad depart for the World Cup this afternoon from Dublin Airport. The 31-man squad includes Keith Earls, who picked up a knock in the last warm-up win over Wales. Joe Schmidt's side get their tournament underway against Scotland on September 22nd in Yokohama. And Waterford athlete Joe Goff is back in action again this evening in Venice just after 5. He competes in the semi-final of the European Masters 800 metres over 65 and should progress to Friday afternoon's final. There are 3 semi-finals. Joe runs in the third. The first 2 from each semi automatically go through, plus those with the 6 fastest times after that. That's the latest on WLR. Our next bulletin is at 2.